Feel like the one, feeling is stuck. This ain't no rock, that's diamond in the cup. Light on my shoulders, I'm getting them rough. Money don't fold up, I feel like Pac in the tub. Showered in gold chains, knots on me. They got the slices, I stay with the block of cheese. Broccoli pressure, both cost me 43. Ay, I stay in my lane, don't fuck with no one. Fuck with no one. Whoa. If you mad, hold your horses, I'm still going up. You cannot stop it, just sit back and watch it. I pull up in different whips, yeah, I got options. Don't play with that sneak dissing, boy, you try this. They see me in person, they wanna talk about it. I feel like I'm, who you feel like? I feel like I'm pocking the tub with the chains on. Whole lot of gold. They want me to turn it down, I gotta stay on. And never go out. We ain't dimming the lights, no. Going out like their bikes. 12 o'clock. Everybody eating over here. Having more than one bite. Only the team get to play. Why? Only the team get to stay. Yeah. Silver spoon where they were with me. Dogs aggressive like they never ate. Savages. Ops too quiet on the other side. Where they at? Yeah. But I know they ain't plotting. Fuck with me, you die. No, I ain't playing. Telling me what? Don't give a fuck. They gon' talk when you down, they gon' talk when you up. I take what they say, along with the eighth. Kept me a word, then I burn it up. Pocket the tub, chains on me. Feel like a thug. Loud of guns. I got kickback. Damn, your son still.
Yo. Yo. What's going on, y'all? What's up? This Mazuma TV, aka Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all in the building, man, with some more boxing talk. You know what I mean? Back at y'all in the building. We got some things that we need to discuss. I hope everybody had a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive weekend. You know what I'm saying? We're about to get the new week started. But before we get into that, you know what I mean? We got to talk some boxing. You know what I'm saying? But before I get into all of that, man, shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I believe that's their third championship in 5 years, man. So they definitely on a hell of a run. That boy Mahomes is a monster for sure. Good way to turn it around, man. He faced adversity throughout the entire game. It was a good game, good competitive game as well. They bit down, they made adjustments, and they found a way, man. They buckled down and they definitely got the work, and that was a well-deserved ring for Patrick Mahomes and his team, man. So shout out to them for making that possible. That was actually pretty dope. That was actually a pretty cool game. You know, I'm not too big into football and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really watch it too often, not even when the Eagles play. You know what I mean? But you know, I wanted to tune in and watch Usher, but I wasn't even able to see that performance. You know what I mean? I seen like little clips and stuff like that, but I didn't get to watch the whole game, and I was running around. I had to drop my son off to his mom and shit like that. So yeah, I wasn't able to witness that. You know what I mean? But regardless, I was able to see the rest of the game, and it was pretty cool, pretty good game for sure. Before I get into that, shout out to my boy Lorenzo. Note says Pat Mahomes. Lorenzo says salute to the mob. Salute. Oscar says Mahomes goated. That boy definitely making a case. He chasing Tom Brady for sure. Note says greatest of all time. New dynasty. Yeah, that's what it's looking like, man. They said 3 in the last 5. That's impressive, man. That's real impressive, man. So that boy Mahomes locked in. It looked like he here to stay too. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, shout out to them. But, you know, I can't give you the most knowledgeable football talk. You know what I mean? I played it when I was a kid, but definitely very far from a hardcore football fan. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's not something I'm going to really get into too deep. You know what I mean? Pause. So, I'm going to just say salute to the Chiefs for doing their thing tonight. Lorenzo says, Swizz Beats about a suplex Alicia. Hey man, listen, I don't know how niggas give it up, but me being the person that I am, uh, 2 things would have happened. This is for sure. She would have got chucked, and that nigga knowing that she's married and he's still doing that. I don't give a fuck if it's a performance. I don't give a fuck if they're in the industry or whatever. Or they you know what I mean, trying to entertain the crowd. He would have also entertained these motherfucking hands. And Oscar, don't get it fucked up. Usher is my nigga. You know what I mean? One of my favorite artists of all time, but he completely violated, bro. And you could call me insecure. You could call me jealous. You could call me everything under the sun and shit. I might be that. But you know what I mean? Fuck that. Usher would have been on his way. Just like Tank said. Tank said that nigga would have been on his way to the hospital. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree with Tank in that point. I definitely would have did something to that man. Pause. You know what I'm saying? He would have had some explaining to do. You know what I mean? I'd have had him apologizing and I'd have beat his ass. You know what I mean? Off GP, general principle, you feel me? But anyway, it was a good performance. I mean, besides all of that, that was a good performance from Usher. A lot of people saying that's one of the best halftime shows they ever seen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. So, note says Tank turned down 15 to fight Ben. 15 mil? Who said that he turned it down? Did he say that himself? Is this something that Connor Ben said? Is this something Eddie Hearn said? Who came out with that news? I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. I'm gonna let you know this right now. You saying yeah? Yeah to which part? Notes. What's good, Shay? So I just seen a Twitter report. Who you got that Twitter report from? If you don't mind me asking. But regardless, if that's the truth, I mean, I seen it coming. Did people actually believe? Did y'all actually believe that he was gonna move up to 40 and fight Conor Ben? And this is the thing too that really confuses me because they say that Tank is the A side, right? They say he's the A side. Leonard Ellerby says he's the A side and he's the one that makes the offers. So I'm assuming you would be the A side against Conor Ben too. So why are you allowing them to send you an offer, but when Devin Haney does it, it's wrong? Can somebody understand? Can somebody help me understand that? Because in my honest opinion, I think Devin Haney's the more popular fighter than Conor Ben. Devin Haney can't send you an offer, but Conor Ben can. I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew that shit really wasn't making sense. Another contradiction. So I knew them negotiations wasn't really going anywhere. It just sounded like Tank was trolling. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like he was trolling. He just wanted to talk shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he got the attention that he wanted, bro. We talking about it. So I guess they did what they needed to do. They got the publicity that they wanted. Yo, we got 20 people in the building, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Hit the like button as soon as you come in if you appreciating the content, of course. You know what I mean? Let's get them algorithm. Let's get that algorithm on the up. You know what I'm saying? Get the people tuned in to Mazuma TV. TBE says Ryan's a cornball. I agree with you 1,000%. That boy is a certified clown for sure. TBE says I heard Tank turned down 15 mil plus pay-per-view percentage. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they would have given him a percentage of the pay-per-view as well. Yeah. So he probably would have. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the numbers would have done at the end of the day, but he probably could have got a nice little bag there. But maybe Tank's looking for a higher guarantee. You know what I mean? If he was seriously considering fighting Conor Ben, maybe he just need a little bit more bread. This is what I think from Tank perspective, right? I think that he got such a huge payday off of Ryan Garcia that at this point in time he's spoiled. You know what I'm saying? And him coming off of that victory against Ryan Garcia, he not trying to settle for less. You know what I'm saying? He not trying to settle for less. He want his guarantee to be his guarantee. You know what I mean? That's either matching the Ryan Garcia fight or maybe he wants more. You see what I'm saying? But what Tank don't understand is for you to get that type of money, if you want to get that Ryan Garcia type money, you got to fight guys that are Ryan Garcia like popularity type of fighters. And the only fighters you really gonna get like big bags from at this particular time, I'm assuming it would be just Devin Haney. If you're talking about in or around your weight class, there's nobody in or around Tank's weight division, 35-40, that's gonna generate the type of money that Devin Haney would generate. Let's just be honest. Like, let's look at 135. Who's a big draw at 135? Shakur? I don't think Shakur is as popular as Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Especially off of his last performance against Edwin De Los Santos, his popularity not his stock not all the way up like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not really out here just really clicking off like Devin Haney right now. Devin Haney had one of the best performances of his career, his last fight. So I think that Devin Haney is more in demand in terms of people wanting to see him right now in comparison to Shakur Stevenson. If you want a big bag, you got to fight a known fighter. You got to fight a popular fighter, somebody that people want to see you fight. You know what I'm saying? Pagai, he says, I heard Tank made 100 M's against Ryan. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what them dudes getting paid at the end of the day. And in all honesty, bro, it ain't no disrespect to you. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if Tank is thinking from the perspective of, yo, I want that same, I'm trying to keep that same pay grade that I got against Ryan Garcia, then you got to fight guys that the fans are demanding you to fight. If you give the fans what they want, they're going to give you the money, man. They're going to give you the money. But if you want to fight guys like Conor Ben, who's not really known in the States, you know what I mean? A little popular in the UK, but not very known in the States. If you want to fight guys like Isaac Cruz, you want to fight guys like Rayo Venezuela, then you can't really expect to get big bags out of them type of fights. That's just me personally. You want the money, you gotta meet the demand, bro. You gotta give the people what they want if you want that type of bread. And that just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shay says, I think Shakur just had a bad night because of his hand, but you will see his next fight. I mean, listen, I don't know exactly what the reason was. Maybe he was injured. I'm not sure exactly what the reason was, but I am aware of Shakur Stevenson's abilities. I am aware of what he could do in the ring. I am aware that he is a special fighter. He's an A-level fighter, no doubt. So this is not me shitting on Shakur Stevenson. I know he's one of the best in or around his division. If not, he is the best. He probably just coming off of a terrible, lackluster performance. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of people who didn't really look like themselves in certain fights. Sometimes you look good, sometimes you don't. There's people that's more consistent than others. But regardless, you know what I mean? I'm never taking away Shakur Stevenson's skill set, his ability in being one of the best in the world. That's something I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So I hope we got an understanding with that. You know what I mean? Shout out to the 27 people that's in the building right now. Hit the like button if you enjoying the boxing talk. You know what I mean? Miles Jordan says Tank definitely pricing himself out right now. If I'm Devin, just focus on beating all the competition around Tank, so he has no reason to not fight him. Don't chase, bruh. He gonna make Dev seem like a bum. I mean, yeah, I honestly say that about anybody that's on the come up. They can't necessarily get them big fights that they're looking for right now. Um, if the ultimate fight um isn't available in that moment, if they're not really looking at you or feeling like you bring something to the table, then you just got to continuously win. There's gonna be a point where they can't deny you anymore. You know what I mean? That's the same advice Jerron Ennis should follow. If Bud and them don't want to give him that opportunity because they feel like he doesn't bring anything to the table, then he just needs to keep winning. You know what I mean? And if the fight don't present itself ever, cool. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be plenty of other big fights out there that you could take advantage of in the future. There's a lot of good fighters that Boots could face eventually in or around his division. You see what I'm saying? I would give the same advice to David Benavidez. If Canelo don't ever want to fight this man, don't start your career off for Canelo like Triple G did. You know what I'm saying? You continuously beat who you need to beat. You know what I mean? Keep knocking down the competition. You're going to be that next star eventually, especially if you're Mexican. They're going to look at you as the next big fighter because at the end of the day, the people are going to know that Canelo avoided you. They're going to know that you know what I mean? You getting certified, you getting verified by all the Mexican legends. You know what I'm saying? You got all their stamps. You know what I'm saying? You got you got an exciting, fan-friendly style. It's like the sky's the limit for Benavidez. There's nothing to really trip about. Canelo don't give you the fight, cool. Pacquiao didn't give Terrence Crawford the fight. You know what I mean? There's a lot of fights. I mean, I didn't really care for the fight, but Floyd never gave Keith Thurman the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? These things happen, but you gotta go on. You know what I mean? You can't start your career out for one fighter. That's my word of advice for all them other guys. You know what I'm saying? For Devin, for Shakur, for because Shakur can't even get a fight in his division that he won. He can't get Navarrete, he can't get Loma, he can't get Cambosis because they both fighting each other. He can't get a lot of them opportunities down there. And I think it's more politics that play into that situation. I think Tyrone understands that he's going to leave, so they're not trying to give you no opportunities. I bet you if he would have signed an extension like Teofimo did for 2-3 more years, they would have gave him the Navarrete fight. They would have gave him the Loma fight, but they understand that he's leaving. So why the fuck are they going to sacrifice one of their guys when it could hurt that fighter that's going to stay with them and then he's going to move on to do big things without them? It don't really make sense. You know what I'm saying? Why would we give you this opportunity? We know very well that you could beat this guy. Why are we gonna give you this chance? You know what I'm saying? Why would you even do that? You feel me? That shit don't really make any type of sense. Um, so that's my whole take on the situation. Maybe someone like Frank Martin, like that's a good fight. You know what I mean? But is that the fight Shakur Stevenson is looking for? I think Shakur Stevenson is in a place right now where he want to prove that he's the best so bad, and he's being so impatient that's why he's having these emotional temper tantrums. And he's like, oh man, none of these dudes want to fight me, man. They all scared of me, man. I'm gonna just retire. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he gonna really feel the motivation to really fight somebody like Frank Martin. Because if he beat Frank Martin, he probably feel like he not gonna get anything out of it. Like I think he understands that Frank Martin is a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? But for one, when he offered him a fight, Frank Martin turned it down. And two, if he ends up taking the fight again and he beats Frank Martin, let's say he smoked Frank Martin convincingly. Let's say he just smoking. Are they gonna give him credit for that? He's already pissed off with the media because they feel like they fake. You know what I'm saying? It just sounds like he's not gonna get his credit. You know what I'm saying? Shakur should fight Raymond. Are you referring to Mordecai? Because if it's Mordecai is less popular than Frank Martin. So I think if he was to fight Mordecai and beat Mordecai, let's say, they wouldn't give him any credit for that neither. Oh, we don't know who Mordecai is, who he fought. It's like Shakur Stevenson. I think he pays too much attention to what the people are saying. I think he's very invested in the fans' opinions. I think he's very invested in social media in general, and this is why he have all these emotional outbursts. And a lot of people say, "Yo, they should take Shakur Stevenson's phone sometimes because he getting his bag too much, and he just be saying a lot of shit that don't really need to be said." You feel what I mean? And I think Shakur Stevenson stated earlier, he was like, oh, they could keep trying to X me out of the equation. So he's insinuating he's being blackballed at this present time. And we know who he's talking about. He just don't want to say it because he not trying to get, you know what I mean, fucked over by Top Rank. But he talking about Top Rank, like, you know what I mean, sitting him down and not giving him any opportunities. But he said, if you want to become undisputed at 135, you can't do that without me. You know what I'm saying? So he's looking at it from an optimistic point of view in this situation. You know what I mean? He lessened his feelings and he's thinking more logically now. He's like, all right, y'all could like take me out of these opportunities because I'm not about to re-sign with y'all. But what y'all gotta understand is if anybody, and I mean anybody at 135, is on a pursuit of getting every belt, you can't get that opportunity without getting in the ring with me. So I guess he pulled a positive out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Because he don't have a fan-friendly style. And according to who? Because I know boxing fans that find like slick out boxers that are defensive, they find them fighters type interesting. You know what I'm saying? Me being a boxing coach, I look at fights a lot different than the average fan. You know what I'm saying? Like the hardcore boxing fan, they may be intrigued in defensive fighters that know how to hit and not get hit. You know what I'm saying? They might be intrigued in how the way people use their footwork and their lateral movement and their ring IQ. I think that the fan friendly style term is subjective and according to who you're talking to, because there might be somebody who like a brawler. You might like a slick defensive fighter. You might like a high volume puncher. You know what I'm saying? You might like a knockout artist. You might like to enjoy. You might like to see somebody who has a great jab. Good inside fighters, long rangey fighters. It all depends on. I think fan friendly style. I think when people think of that, they automatically assume it's somebody who likes to fight and come forward and be aggressive. But at the same time, you know what I mean. I think that it's subjective. It's in accordance of who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? You guys just want people to hit each other in the face, just boxing, not fighting. That's a great point. Terrence Crawford said the same thing after that Teofimo and Jermaine Ortiz situation. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I said as well while I was on live. I just don't understand how people could look at Jermaine Ortiz and say he ran the whole time. You know what I'm saying? When bro, you're inside, you're trapped in between ropes. Do y'all understand that? Can you necessarily run anywhere? It's like y'all blaming everything on Jermaine Ortiz when in reality y'all should be blaming Teofimo Lopez because he was unable to make adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Why is Teofimo not taking? Why is he not being criticized for his terrible performance? You know what I'm saying? Why is he not getting discredited for his performance? Everybody talking about what Jermaine did. Oh, he was running the whole time. Oh, he's oh, well, I don't ever want to see him box again. Why not? He did exactly what he needed to do, and that was hit and not get hit. And for everybody saying that he was just running and he wasn't doing anything, not only did he outthrow Teofimo Lopez, he outlanded Teofimo Lopez, whether it was a small amount or not, according to the stats that was provided on ESPN. And for the most part, I thought ESPN was being biased towards Teofimo Lopez. They were claiming he was undefeated and all types of shit that wasn't true. So they already was putting it out there that they were rooting for Teofimo Lopez. You feel me? That man outthrew Teofimo, outlanded Teofimo. Now everybody's talking about effective aggression is what helps you win a fight. That's absolutely true. When you look through the ruling on how to score a fight, effective aggression is one of them things. However, can you necessarily say that Teofimo Lopez was being effective? He was throwing 1-2 shots at a time. He missed a lot of shots, bro. He missed a lot of shots. Can you necessarily call that being effective if you're unable to cut off the ring? You letting this man outbox you. You letting this man avoid all your shots. He's smothering your shots. You know what I'm saying? And there were certain instances where they would both get into like exchanges, and Jermaine Ortiz would have the better ones. Now, was he landing like hard, devastating shots? No, but regardless, he was still running them up. You know what I'm saying? I personally believe that if you put Floyd Mayweather in that type of fight, right? You put him in that type of fight against Teofimo Lopez, and it played out the same exact way. I think that it's a unanimous. I think the judges are going to score a unanimous decision for Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? But because they might have bigger plans for Teofimo Lopez, you know what I mean, to fight this guy and that guy, and they see more money being generated for Teofimo Lopez if he were to fight other top guys in the 140-pound division. I think that they thought that in their mind it would be a better move in a business sense if they keep Teofimo on a winning streak. That's what I personally believe. You see what I'm saying? Because what's going to generate more money, guys? Just thinking logically. Teofimo Lopez, Subriel. Let's say, I'm not saying this fight will happen, but let's say it was, right? Or Subriel and Jermaine Ortiz. Which one has more, you know what I'm saying, more of an, which one shine more? You feel me? Now, I also wanted to get into this with Teofimo Lopez, man, because I didn't get to really talk about it since I did the live fight reaction to it. I think that Teofimo Lopez has a terrible person directing his training camps. You know what I mean? I think his father is his head coach, and if that's the case, then that's who I'm directing this to. You know what I'm saying? In all honesty, just speaking from a coach's perspective, I don't know if anybody else on here, the 29 people that's on here right now, I don't know if any of you guys have boxing experience or are actual boxing coaches. You know what I'm saying? But me, whether my amateurs win or they lose a fight, I'm always looking for something that they do wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about what you did right. If you're doing that right, that's nothing to be concerned about. You feel what I'm saying? What I'm worried about is what you did wrong in the fight, so we could go back into the lab and fix our problems. So we could go into our next fight being more prepared. You know what I mean? Learning from that experience and improving to make ourselves a more well-versed fighter, a more experienced fighter. You know what I'm saying? Because in boxing, you tend to get better when I'm not going to say lose a fight, but you have a fight where you notice that you don't have it all together. You see what I'm saying? So Teofimo Lopez, in all honesty, should have been very concerned after that Sandor Martin fight. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of whether you believe he beat Sandor Martin or not, there should have been a lot of red flags that were raised after that. I felt like, damn, we got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would have thought if I was T.O. Senior. Like, there's a lot of work to be made to do with T.O. You know what I'm saying? Because there's somebody at the top of his division right now that has great movement, has great legs like Sandor Martin. And if you want to be able to beat this type of fighter that's at the top of the 140-pound division, then you need to know how to cut the ring off. And of course, I'm referring to Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? The WBC champion at 140 pounds. It's no secret that Devin is a great outboxer. He's a great boxer, great outboxer. He has good feet. You know what I mean? He can move for 12 rounds and be completely fine. He has great legs. You see what I'm saying? So with somebody like Teofimo, who struggled with somebody with the boxing ability of Sandor Martin, who was also limited in like his offense, he was only really giving them two main shots the whole time: the check hook, you know what I mean, just keeping his jab on him, right? So if I'm T.O. Sr., I would be extremely concerned for my fighter / son, and we would be back in the ring. I would have him. I would bring, with the money, with the resources, with the connections that they have at Top Rank, with the money that they have. There's no reason why they shouldn't be, even if they don't have a fight day, bringing people over that are great outboxers. So, you know what I mean? They could work on cutting off the ring. You know what I mean? Continuously going over these things in drills and sparring. You know what I'm saying? This needs to be mastered. I know it's been a lost art in the past because we've seen a lot of fighters that are coming up right now that struggle with guys who can move. And that's why a lot of these guys, all he did was run. All he did was run. Bro, there's no excuse, bro. If you're having trouble catching up to this guy, it's because it's either your inability to move your own fucking feet or your inability to cut off the ring. Stop blaming people for your terrible performance, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. You know what I'm saying? If a guy is, you know what I mean, on survival mode and he doesn't want to engage with you and things like that, then you need to apply the pressure necessary to force him to fight with you, so it could open up some opportunities for you to land that KO shot or for you to land that big shot that could help you win the round. You need to take things into your own hands. This is an individual sport. So instead of nowadays, these soft ass dudes in this new era, instead of just making the adjustments necessary to make things play out in your favor, what you're doing is you're blaming them for the reason why you look like shit. And that's what Teofimo Lopez is doing. He said, he literally was on the microphone when they was asking him a question. They told him to rate his own performance. And he said, I think he said a 10 out of 10. I'm like, really? So you give yourself a 10 out of 10 when a lot of people thought you got a gift, right? You were getting outboxed, clearly. You missed a lot of shots. You got hit with several shots. You feel what I'm saying? You giving yourself a 10 out of 10 when a lot of people thought you lost the fight? Are you that delusional? If I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm disappointed in my performance. I'm disappointed in my performance if I'm Teofimo. If I'm Teofimo's coach, I'm disappointed in my fighter's performance. You see what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. It's as simple as that. It's like, how can you are you that, like Eddie Hearns calls T.O., deluded? Are you that deluded that you believe that you give yourself a 10 out of 10? And the reason why the fight played out that way was strictly because of Jermaine Ortiz? How about you actually approach Jermaine Ortiz with a game plan that's good enough as to where he would have to switch up his approach? How about you cut off the ring and you let your hands go to the point where Jermaine realizes that the outboxing isn't going to work, so he has to resort to something that will play even more in your favor. Let's say Teofimo Lopez cuts off the ring, right? He's showcasing a great jab. He cutting off the ring. He landing some good body shots. He got Jermaine Ortiz stuck on the ropes. Jermaine has to tie him up to get back to the center, and he just continuously applies that pressure, intelligent pressure. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Ortiz is going to go back to his corner, and his trainers are going to find a way they're going to be like, yo, listen, your outboxing isn't working. You down on the cards. We're going to have to fight this motherfucker. Or you're going to have to sit in the pocket with him. You're going to have to get this man respect. That's what you need to do in order to really get things going your way. You force them in a situation where they have no choice but to fight a fight that benefits you the most. You know what I'm saying? Because what if he cut off the ring effectively and applied pressure and Jermaine was like, fuck it, man, this shit ain't working. I'm gonna have to go with the game plan. We're gonna have to go to plan B. And that's just, you know what I mean, sitting in the pocket, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean, trying to fight him off or push him going backwards. That would have opened up a possible knockout for Teofimo Lopez. You feel me? That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what should have been done. But instead of making the adjustments necessary, you kept fighting the same fight because you weren't able to make the adjustments. You're not that special of a fighter to make those adjustments, in my opinion. So what you do is you don't hold yourself accountable and you blame your opponent for the reason why you look shitty, and then you convince your fans slash defenders to shit on Jermaine Ortiz. Like, I don't know exactly what y'all wanted Jermaine Ortiz to do. Like, did you want Jermaine Ortiz to sit right there and let T.O. hit him with a left hook? Yeah, man, go ahead, hit me. Like, no. What the fuck? This is boxing. This is hit and not get hit. Like Brother Nazim said, swim without getting wet. This is what the game is. You have every right to not be a fan of the style. You know what I'm saying? You have every right to not be a fan of the style, right? But you know what I mean? Not everything you're gonna be a fan of. You see what I'm saying? Like if you watch basketball, you might not be a fan of the dude who his main game is posting up. You might like 3-point shooters. You might like guys who you know what I mean that slam shit like John Morant and shit like that. You might be more worried about them type dudes. You probably don't like the post up, you know what I mean? Get the gritty guy who get the boards and you know what I mean, put bags, and he got the crazy defense and things of that nature. You might strictly fuck with guys like Trae Young. You might fuck with guys like Steph Curry. You might not be a fan of the Draymond Green. You might not be a fan of the fucking what else you want? What's that one dude name? Dylan, whatever the fuck his name is, the one that be fucking with LeBron all the time. You know what I mean? There's different styles in boxing. You're not gonna be a fan of each one. There's styles that I absolutely hate. I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate Sean Porter's style. But every time he was in a big fight, who was watching? Me. Every big fight that he's been in, I've watched. I've watched fights that wasn't so big, like Castillo. Wait, who he fought? He fought you, Dennis Ugas. I guess that was a big fight. I guess. You know what I'm saying? He fought a few guys that wasn't big names all like that, and I still tuned in. You know what I'm saying? Miles Jordan say, look, he hate Romain Villa's style, but I bet you watch his fight with Jaron Ennis, right? You see what I mean? What the point I'm trying to make is these guys are like, oh man, I hate Jermaine Ortiz style. I never want to see him box again. I'll tell you another guy whose style I don't like. I don't like Robert Easter style. I think that he's garbage. That's just what I think. You feel what I'm saying? He got a world title, all that. Not necessarily garbage. Let me take that back. Not garbage, but I just not a fan of his style. I think that he's not like that appealing of a fighter to me. But I still watch his fight with Mikey Garcia, Richard Cole with Cole May. I watched him live in Reading at the Prudential Center? I think it was the Prudential Center. When he had fought, I think it was Adrian Granados. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. You said Sean Porter's style was great for TV, but I wasn't really a fan of his style. I thought he smothered a lot of his punches. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really have much power behind his punches because he smothered them so much. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. You know what I mean? I thought some of his headbutts were intentional and things like that. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to shit on Sean Porter. I was just making an example. You see what I mean? So, yeah, man. Boxing fans need to start holding their fighters accountable whenever they have shitty performances and not blaming the other guy, because at the end of the day, it's up to your fighter to make the adjustment necessary to change the dynamic of the fight. If they're unable to do so, that's their fault. You see what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. You feel me? So that's all I wanted to speak about with that. You know what I mean? So let's get into the whole situation with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia and whether their beef is real or staged. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of things that have gone on since that situation. Unfortunately, I believe Ryan Garcia's house had gotten robbed. I don't know if that was some some BS, you know what I mean, cap or what, you know what I mean? But that is an unfortunate situation if that was the case. And I hope that the possessions that was taken from his crib are either able to be replaced, because there's a lot of things that hold sentimental value and cannot be replaced. So I hope that whatever he lost could be replaced. And not only that, I hope that if they aren't able to be replaced, at least they'll be recovered. You feel what I'm saying? But regardless, there's people on here that's saying that it was staged. You see what I'm saying? Um, but I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Then we're gonna chop it up with the nation and see what they say about it. So, I mean, unless you've been under a rock lately, you will understand that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia had gotten into it in person. I believe this was in Vegas. You see what I'm saying? Um, he said Black Truth says insurance pay it all. Okay, well I mean, yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? That's if he has it. You know what I mean? I don't know if he has it. But maybe assuming that he's a wealthy person or a rich person, you want whatever you want to call him, it's a good chance he may have it. But regardless, sentiments has a dollar amount. Okay. I mean, I guess. I mean that I don't believe that. You see what I mean? But let's say it was a gold chain that was given to him by his grandfather that may no longer be here. That meant a lot to him. What if that was taken? Would that be something that could be replaced with money and make you feel better? Or would you still be upset with the money that you will no longer have a piece of your grandfather anymore, who may no longer be here with you? I don't know if insurance will really make me feel any better, or a dollar amount will make me feel any better. You know what I mean? That might be good for somebody who all they care about is money, but um, you know, for somebody that might value things other than money, I don't know if they would agree with that. Miles Jordan says Ryan saying Tank knocked it out is corny as hell. Bringing up sparring when bro was younger and not wanting to fight him now was so corny to me, in my opinion. Well, we gonna get into that. So I don't know exactly what the situation is. I don't know where the hell they was at or where they was going. But from the footage that I've seen, it looked like Ryan Garcia was walking in the opposite direction from Devin Haney. Devin Haney looked like he had said some things like stop acting or whatever the situation was. I think Ryan Garcia saw that as an opportunity to promote this fight or get some um get some content for social media and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Garcia turns around, he goes over to Devin Haney and is immediately in his face. They're face to face now within inches of each other. And they get to talking back and forth. Now, what I'm gonna say is neither one of these dudes are great trash talkers, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of back and forth that really didn't have any quotables or anything of that nature. It was just Ryan Garcia was like, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. I'm like, it sound like two fucking third graders at the schoolyard. Like just, no, I'm not your friend anymore. Leave me alone. I'm not your friend. And I'm like, okay. So then Devin was like, you're whack. You're whack, bro. You're whack. And I don't know, bro. It was just like a little back and forth that was going on. And Ryan started to get louder. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They was going a little bit back and forth, and it got to the point where it looked like Devin Haney was getting closer to Ryan Garcia. He didn't like that, so he proceeded to push Devin Haney. Devin Haney charged him. I don't know if there was people that was saying that a shot did land. I'm not exactly sure because I did not see the punch land at all from either one of the angles I saw. But from what I've seen, it looked like the security guy pulled Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia didn't look like he really wanted to do anything physical. You know what I mean? I just think that that was the most that he wanted to happen. You know what I'm saying? But he said he dodged that, so it gave me the impression that Devin threw a shot at him. You know what I'm saying? So that let me know that Ryan Garcia may have been doing this for like views or what I mean, some type of attention on social media. But Devin Haney looked like he was about to fuck his money up. You know what I mean? That's what I personally think. I think that Devin Haney wasn't acting at all. I think he was dead serious. You know what I'm saying? And he really looked like he was aggravated. Like Devin looked extremely pissed. He looked annoyed. It looked like Ryan had gotten to him in that situation. And when they had showcased the part two, you can see that Devin Haney looked like he really wanted to get physical with one of the security guards. it honestly looked like he was about to go at it with him. They was really disrespecting him, and the security guard was like, I get active, man. They was going back and forth. And by that point in time, Ryan Garcia had completely left the scene. If Ryan Garcia was dead ass serious about wanting smoke with him outside of the ring, you would think that Ryan Garcia would hold his ground and actually be there and actually try to get into it with Bill or Dev or whatever the situation is. But he was going out of the footage while Devin and them was coming at the security guard. It looked like he abandoned his security guard and just took off. So my personal opinion, I think that Ryan Garcia was definitely faking it. It looked like he was just doing it as a publicity stunt, you know what I mean, to post on social media. And get the clicks that he got, because I think one of them, I think part one of the video did well over like 10 million views by now. Let me check. Let me see exactly what the viewer count is right now. Let me check Ryan Garcia's social media. And from what I see, part one did 13.4 million views. You know what I mean? So I guess it worked out. It got us all talking about it at this point in time. But the part two did a little less than half of those views. Did 6.6 million. So total 13.4, 6.6. That did, both of those videos together did 20 million views. You see what I mean? So I mean, I guess he got what he wanted out of it, which is the attention, the promotion around the fight, to really get things going between them. And at this point in time, I think it's safe to say that there may be some bad blood between them. I seen Ryan Garcia say on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that on 420 they're gonna be smoking a Bill Haney pack, which I don't even know why people be playing with that term so loosely, because if you really from the hood and understand what that mean, that's not something to just be throwing out there. That's like a real term that's used when people are, you know what I'm saying, murdered, you know what I'm saying, or when lives are taken, people refer to that as like a life being taken. You know what I'm saying? So you could tell just based off of that tweet right there that Ryan Garcia just saying some shit that he know nothing about. You know what I mean? Because if he was really from the hood or had any type of street smarts, he would understand not to really be playing with that term so loosely. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff that like real street people say, or rappers who have like a background in the streets say things of that nature. But typical culture vulture shit. You know what I mean? They take terms from our community and then use it to try to make it seem like they hip, or they trying to fit in a sense, and they just look corny at the end of the day. I think Devin Haney had responded with he said go smoke on them people that robbed your house or some shit like that, which I thought was funny. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what Devin said about that. Let me check that. He said, no, Ryan Garcia said 420, we will be smoking on that Bill Haney pack, hashtag Super Bowl. So just another attention-seeking quote. You could just tell off of the hashtag he was just trying to get some clout from the whole Super Bowl situation, just trying to keep his name out there. Devin Haney says, smoke on the niggas that robbed your house, goofy, which that's actually pretty funny, you know what I mean? Because I think I would have said something along those lines too. Yeah, so that's pretty much what they've been saying lately. So back to what I was saying, I think that Devin Haney was a little caught off guard. I think he was surprised by it. And he definitely looked like he was irritated. That didn't look like any acting on Devin or his team's part. But if there was acting anywhere in this situation, I believe it was Ryan Garcia for sure. I think he did it strictly to, like I said, get his little clicks, his attention on social media, and probably just mental warfare, just getting in Devin and Bill Haney's head. That's what I personally believe. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the people said. Black Truth says Bill pushed up on a security and not B-Hop. Well, Bill Haney had his security there. You know what I'm saying? Bill Haney had his security there, so I don't think he was too pressed about really getting at B-Hop, because he understood he was protected at that moment in time. But from what I've seen in the videos that popped up on my YouTube, I seen Bill Haney follow be hop around. He said that I'll go. He said I'll go anywhere about my son. He said something along those lines. So it didn't look like Bill Haney was shook at all at any point in time in that situation. If anything, it just made B Hop look kind of corny because he had pushed Bill Haney and then had completely gotten out of the way. If he was truly looking for smoke, I think that he would have pushed him and then stood in front of him to try to attempt to do something else. I don't know if it really necessarily looks like you want to fight somebody if you push somebody and then get out of dodge. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but regardless, um, I don't really care to really speak on anything like that. But that's just what I interpreted from that situation. That's what I thought happened. You feel what I mean? Um, I mean, feel free to disagree with me. That's okay. That's okay. You ain't hurting nobody's feelings with that. He said, Bill, funny character, his old ass trying to get active. Um, it sound like you don't really fuck with the Heenies like that from everything you saying. Sound like you just dead ass. You got something against them. You're not a fan of them. What's the situation with that? Because everything I've heard you say about the Heenies lately is for the most part negative. So I don't know if you got necessarily something against them. I really don't care in all honesty, but I don't know. I don't know, man. But regardless, you know what I mean. So I guess that's me speaking about that situation. So now going on with what's going on currently with Shakur Stevenson, uh, currently retired boxer, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? See, look, that gave you everything you needed to know. Look, right there, Haney's a cap. Not a fan of the Haney's at all. Miles Jordan said, I got a question. Where you think the hate from the Haney's? I got a question. Where you think the hate from the Haney's is? Is it some shit I'm missing? Um, it could be a combination of things, bro. Like, I mean, we could go back to probably the most simple thing is that, um, you know what I mean? A lot of you could say that because he's a black athlete. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of black boxers get a lot of unfair criticism. It could be that, could be a little racial. It could be something racial behind it. You know what I mean? Because just like Floyd Mayweather said, boxing is a you know what I mean, a racist sport, whatever you want to call it. You could say that. You could say that these guys, a lot of people that don't like the Haneys could be fans of Javante Davis. You see what I'm saying? It could be a lot of things. It could be a lot of things, bro. I can't really pinpoint it on one situation. I've heard people say that they don't rock with Devin Haney because he reminds them of like a privileged kid who never worked for their situation. But I think to be an elite fighter like Devin Haney, you know what I mean? I think that you got to put some type of work in. You know what I'm saying? He might not have the same background as me and you that's on this panel right now, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to discredit that man. You feel what I mean? And take away what he worked hard to get. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I think it's a lot of Gervonta Davis fans. I think it's a lot of Gervonta Davis fans that may feel like Devin Haney is a threat. So in turn, they just talk crazy about him. It could be that too. I know there's a lot of people that talk crazy about Bill and Dev. Typically rock with Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson. That's what I noticed for the most part. Or even if you want to throw a Teofimo in there, I'm not sure. Everybody got their own reasons. I can't pinpoint it to one thing. You know what I mean? If you drop a link, I'll explain it. No drama. All right, cool. Oh, that could be another reason. He says he's a Loma fan. Okay, makes a lot of sense. See, everybody got their own reasons. Oscar says, "Bro, Devin put work in. He from the suburbs, but that don't matter. You gotta respect it." I mean, yeah, regardless of how they came up, you know what I'm saying. If they did what they had to do to get where they at, then you know what I mean. I respect it. I don't know how anybody else give it up, but I respect it. Yo, what up? You hear me?
Yo, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's up?
Yeah, no, some man. Salute to the channel. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been like tuning in for the last couple of lives, man, and you be cooking on some stuff, so I'll be tuning in.
Appreciate that, man. Go ahead, speak your piece.
But what I was saying about Bill is like Bill and Devin, and really it's not even too much of Dev because Dev don't really speak for himself. If I'm being real, it's really Bill that's out here, capping in the streets. But instead of like Dev coming in and stepping in and saying, hey, my father and whatever, it's whatever Bill says, that's really what comes on. So, and I'm gonna give you like a couple of examples, just let you know I ain't talking. So when they was
Yeah,
talking about,
that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you for some examples. Go ahead.
all right, I got you. So when Bill and them came out with saying I'm staying at 135 till the end of the year, but then you got Devin posting this manifesto about how he was going to beat Lomachenko at the end of the year, but yet when that interview came out talking about they were staying at 135 for the rest of the year, that came out after Dev said that he posted about him beating Lomachenko and moving up to 145 or 140.
40.
So it's just it's different, and the thing is, that's what I said. They cap is because they will admit it that they're saying a lie, a blatant lie, but because they had their fan base. And obviously, it doesn't show up in the pay-per-view numbers, but like their fan base is so strong on YouTube, they'll defend whatever they say, so they feel like they don't have to come out and just approach the live. They can just put out whatever information they have, and therefore their fans base is going to run with it. That's the difference. Notice that's why Bill Haney even posted about him having a dinner with YouTubers at, like, it was before the Regis fight. He was posting how he had a whole luncheon with YouTubers. Like, I ain't gonna say names, but he had a couple of key YouTubers in this boxing space that he had a whole dinner with, and since then you've seen them push them narratives. That's the only thing you see. Bill is directly active in the YouTube space. However, the truth, when it comes to the truth, because I don't know. Well, let's take it back. When Haney was dropping them belts, he went to Mike Coppinger and to Dan Raphael and everything. But yet, when he dropped them belts, he came back to every YouTube channel that was going live at that point and was saying all this other stuff. But yet, he went to the major networks to drop the news. That's the difference. Is that they're capped. They say they're staying at one thing, they do another. They say they're doing this, they doing another thing. Like that's the biggest issue that we see, and a lot of it isn't even on Devin. It's on Bill. Like, I can admit a lot of the things that Bill has said, I've charged Devin for. And I could be just talking for myself, but I know a lot of people like me that when Bill has said something, we account that to Devin, because Devin, why ain't you correcting this information even if it's false?
Okay, so somebody by the name of Miles Jordan says you can't change your mind. What do you say to that?
You okay? So when you change your mind, you can update that. You can say, "Hey, I can no longer make 135. I'm going to 140."
Okay.
But versus if
Well,
you're saying
I
if you
do, I do recall that though. I do remember Devin saying that he was going to stay at 135 for the rest of the year. But I also did say on my channel that once he realized how good he felt at 140, he wasn't going to go back down. Because
right,
I remember in the build up to the Regis Prograis fight, he was saying that if the opportunity made sense, he would go back down to 35. You know what I'm saying? That was still why he had all the belts and shit like that. But I could tell by how the way that man looked on that scale that he was never going back to 135. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. But you got
yeah.
to think everything that happened in between them, because they was wanting to make it seem like they was willing to make the Shakur fight at any point in time, but yet Devin at the end of the year post his manifesto about how he was wanting to beat Lomachenko and then go up to 140 and become a champion. So that's in direct opposition of what they were saying. That's the only thing. Because the same interview when they said they were staying at 135 came out after Devin already said that he was staying at 135. So that's the only thing, is just that they're capped, they're lying. You could have said your original intentions the whole time and people wouldn't have begged you for it. We saw how you were on that Kambosos fight. We saw how you were skeleton and you were Skeletor, He-Man. We saw this, and so we wouldn't have fought you. But the problem is when you didn't want to take that. Hey, I can't make 135 no more. That's the issue. Versus you wanted to cap and make Shakur seem like he a duck. Wanted to feint like you wanted to offer Lomachenko a rematch, but your plans was to go to 140 the entire time. Even Eddie Hearn and Regis Prograis let the cat out the bag before then, but people ignored that. But that's the thing, they're capped. You're lying. We know you're lying, and you won't admit it.
Okay, you got a valid point, bro. You got a valid point. I mean, you definitely entitled to your opinion, but from what I'm seeing right here, Ray Davis says, "Salute, Black Truth. You love Loma, bro." So okay, so you a Lomachenko fan. So I'm gonna ask you this: what's your take on the situation with Loma and Kambosos? What's your thoughts on the fight and what you think is going to transpire in that situation?
I definitely think Loma is going to stop, but so the reason why, because I frequent other channels that are more Haney centric, if you want. So they'll automatically try to discredit me just because I will say I am like the lone black Lomachenko fan in like the YouTube space that I know of. Like the rest of them are white or whatever.
Okay. So you think he gonna stop Kambosos?
That's just what that's what they accuse me of. But I do love Loma, and why he says that is because I believe Lomachenko did beat Devin Haney in that fight as well.
Mm.
I so I think that's my boy too. He been on a couple of panels too. He already know how I rock, so he know I'm consistent with it. Ain't that right, Ray?
Absolutely. You know I rock with you. You know I rock with you. I respect your opinions on and how you feel and standing on your own. You know that, bro.
No, 100%. That's why I said. But I'm the one that's standing alone when it comes to the Loma. But that doesn't mean my criticisms of Haney isn't correct as well or isn't valid as well.
Uh, listen. I think we reach a little bit when we say things because we see spectrums of things.
Like what?
I'm not going to tell you that the statement that he wrote or they found in Twitter from early 2024 or whatever the case may be, 2023, that they found a year ago and somebody retweeted. We don't like that has no really stain on anything. That was just a goal. Everybody makes goals, but we already knew that he was fighting Lomachenko. We knew he did want to go to 140, but he also knew that his dad said they was going to stay at 135, and he did an interview saying he will stay at 135 if the money is right. So all those things can all exist at the same time. The problem is that the way people read things is they dismiss things because of the fact that when we want to because Haney, listen, put it this way, Haney's not respected in the game like he should be. The guy has accomplished a lot of things, and when you have people that are not boxing fans first, what they tend to do is they try to push the narratives on things and they try to eliminate certain things that are true and just put the things that are factual that can cause damage, basically called damage control. So what you're saying is you're only reading into one aspect and you're eliminating the other aspects and saying that they're all cat, which we don't have no valid information that it is cat. We don't know that.
But Ray, we do know that because we see their actions. Their actions is opposite of what they have said that is the truth. We see that their actions when they're saying, "Oh, got you." You want to say that even though somebody retweeted it on this was Haney's actions, even though he sent an offer to Shakur, Haney also posted that this was his manifesto for 2023, that he was moving up to 140 and fighting Reed.
Okay.
So
I
that
totally.
we can't display that, especially if that's coming from the fighter. That's coming from the fighter.
Okay, I totally agree with
Like,
that.
and like I said, my biggest thing is just Bill, because we can both acknowledge Bill has been capped, right?
Bill has his fun in the game. I'll leave it at that.
Okay,
But let me
I
just
got you.
let me
But
touch
I'm
on this
saying
real
we can
quick.
both acknowledge that at the very least.
I mean, listen, he's a promoter. He's going to build up his fighter. That's what, and he's the father of the fighter. He's going to build him up. That's his job. But let me just get back to this. So you were talking about the post for 2023 for his what he wanted to do in a year. But did they not send the offer to Shakur Stevenson? Or are we just ignoring that?
What is sending the what?
Okay, the offer is saying that we were going to fight at 135. Was that not an offer sent for 135?
Okay, and then
That's not the question. I'm sorry. I'm just trying.
But you know where my instant retort is going to be.
I know. That's why I'm asking a simple close answer question, because once you start going into somewhere else, then we got to touch something else. So the question was, did he not send them an offer for 135 belt for all for all the belts?
There was conflicting reports as far as Bob Arum saying that's not a real offer versus. So I mean that, like,
Okay.
we can go back and forth with that argument. We can say when Shakur went to the WBC,
the conflicting
that's
report
valid because they sent a petition to Haney to make sure, hey, Haney, what decision are you going to make? We can validate that versus what offer Haney sent to Shakur. We can validate what the WBC said more than we can validate what Haney and them said.
Okay.
Can we not?
No, because what you're saying is basically when Shakur made a report in a live interview saying that they got an offer sent to them and they were told not to accept the offer was not real. You're saying that was a fictional conversation. You're also stating that Bob, who initially released that,
right, but we have Bob Arum. We have Bob Arum in that in another interview saying that offer was not real.
True. Let me finish.
Let him speak.
So Bob Arum's original statement was that we're sitting down at the table with Bill Haney and we're trying to make an offer for the Shakur fight before Regis and all this stuff was even on the table. Then we got the second statement from Bob Arum when he was asked about the Shakur fight, when he said there was no offer ever even made. Then we got a third offer saying that, yeah, there was an offer made, but it wasn't a real offer. So which one is it from Bob? So we have to look at where our lies are coming from. So it sounds like Bob is capping more than anybody else, because two things, again, can be true. But in this situation, Bob and Shakur can't be on different sides, because Bob agreed with Shakur initially, and then he totally went against it. Where Shakur is on record of saying he received an offer, and they decided, his team and them decided that they were okay. So therefore, there was an offer sent at 135, which means that they plan to stay there for that fight.
Right, but when they say a realistic offer, meaning a realistic offer as far as to make the fight, in the fight sense, which is why when Shakur went to the WBC and they came back to Devin Haney and said, what are you going to do? Devin Haney petitioned and said, hey, can I keep my belt while I'm fighting Regis Prograis? Like, that's documented as far as what he said. So that's meaning Haney is trying to still reap the fruits of his WBC at the 135 belts that he's got, while he's trying to actively avoid a fighter at 135 to try to claim glory at 140.
Okay.
Like that, but we can't avoid.
Okay, so all right, that's where I'm going to actually disagree too, because if I'm not mistaken, and you can show me later, the WBA was actually who gave Haney the time limit on what you're going to do, because when so-called Gordo retired, they actually told him that he had a certain amount of time to make the Shakur fight or make the Regis fight. This is later down that line after the fact at the WBC. Shakur went to the WBC after he already acknowledged that he was going to fight Regis if this guy didn't send an offer back to him. So now we're conflicting two different belts because they got
that's incorrect. That's incorrect. So the WBC gave Haney a mandate, and then they gave him extension on that mandate. because originally they was telling him that because remember, the WBC already ordered, because Shakur was already next up. So Shakur and then was already ordered, and then they gave him a decision: fight Regis or fight Shakur. That's why they mandated the champion in recess, but that's why the championship was vacated, even though Haney was quote unquote champion in recess if he were to return to the weight, which is why we saw in December he dropped all the weights, and therefore that champion in recess title was removed.
So that again, I think you're confusing the two situations. The WBA was the one that actually initiated that. The WBC didn't act on this until after the WBA. They found out that he was going to make a decision between Regis and Shakur.
So it's always been between the WBC and because Regis was not a WBA champion.
It wasn't about
in the manner of which we're talking about.
Okay, but
when it was always between the WBC.
But you're missing. You're missing. As I say, you're conflicting two different things. It was not always a WBC. When he first went up, he was actually talking to them, trying to make a fight with Teo. Teo had retired, so they offered the Barbosa fight to him for the WBA, and they told him he had 15 days to make this decision. That was a WBA.
And that's when Teo was like, "Oh, I'm coming back."
Exactly.
Right, and then that's
okay.
When Teo was asking for $20 million, correct?
Correct. And then he moved on to Regis.
Okay.
Already in talks.
I got my timeline correct.
The WBC was also in talks during that time, but it wasn't announced yet. That wasn't even a figure. So now, when they brought that out to the point of Regis talking to the team, that's when it became okay. Now, what are we going to do? Because now you're not taking the WBA fight. Are you going to fight Regis or are you going to fight Shakur? Now, they gave him a timeline because they didn't even issue the bag for Shakur yet. Remember, if he would have took the Shakur fight, that would have went to a purse bid at that point. And that would have been less money for 4 belts. That's why he chose to take the Regis fight.
Notice what you're saying. Less money for 4 belts. In the undisputed history of undisputed fights, what has been less money for 4 belts? Because even John Ryder against Canelo got 25%. Less money for 4 belts.
Okay, so now we're going to conflict which the face of boxing is, because when Devin said he was the face of boxing, let me finish real quick.
That's a person that's the clear A side.
I am reporting.
Lesser B side.
Here we go, bro. See what I'm talking about?
Okay, go ahead. Bobby, I got you. Go ahead.
So we're talking about the guy who says he was the face of boxing. We just argued for the whole week that he is nowhere near the face of boxing, to the guy that is the face of boxing, that demands a high number, taking a fight with John Ryder. John Ryder was also ranked in the top 10. So therefore, he did make more money than what that was. The purse bid goes, when it becomes a purse bid, it actually goes into a file for all of the promotional companies to bid on the fight and show the fight. So if anybody would bid on that fight and Bob Arum, let's just say, lost that fight at $2 million, guess what they're splitting? Whether it's 50-50, 40-60, 45-55, guess what they're splitting? They're splitting $2 million. So that then takes some money away from the fight, where Bob was actually on the record of saying also that they would have made more money, because I don't know if Mark can actually even speak on this. I don't think he has. I don't know how much he knows on the business side. I don't want to get into that. But if he wants to, when a promoter actually issues a fight, they actually seek the offer, the value of the fighter. When they do that, if it's a champion, and when they do that, they actually have to match that money. That's how they know how the fight's going to do. They kind of get like a prelim of what you think the fight is worth against other promoters and managers. Once that happens and they say, oh, the fight's worth maybe 16 million, let's just say they just throw that number out, then he gets 25% of 16 million. Now, they then purse bid it, and then he says, I want 50-50 or whatever, 35, 45, whatever he wants, and they go to 2 million, he's only getting a purse bid, a split of that 2 million. So that's a big loss of money in that count. I wouldn't have took that fight. I don't blame Devin and Bill for moving on from that. Now, as far
as... Right, but Ray, you know where your argument falls flat on?
Please show me.
He gave Regis Prograis, a fighter that's never been 50-50 or never have sold out in his own hometown, he gave him 50-50. According to
With
California Athletic Commission. That's what your argument is falling flat on. You gave a fighter that you wanted to make the fight with 50-50, and that's not exaggeration on my point. You can look at it straight down the line, 50-50 for
okay. But
Ray.
he was
But
also the
when it
champion.
comes to Shakur, a fighter whom has a better profile than Regis, can we argue that? Can we at least agree on that?
I can agree
that
that
Shakur has a better
okay.
profile than Regis. Can we at least agree on that?
Check.
But you wasn't willing to give 50-50 for that, but you was willing to give 50-50 for Regis just because that was the fight that you already mandated and already manifested that you wanted in the first place. You see the difference?
Oh, no, I don't, because I want to tell you why. There's one belt on the line with Regis, and I'm going after his belt. So I'm going to the champion. A-side or not, I'm still going to the champion. The other case is you got a guy coming from
right,
another
but you
weight.
already agreed that Shakur had the bigger profile.
It doesn't matter.
You already agreed.
But the money was bigger in the fight.
Right?
So he would have made more money because the money was supposed to be bigger in the fight regardless. So let's get back to the point where you're now fighting for 4 belts. And if somebody's giving you 25% of 4 belts, right, they're giving you the value of 1 belt in their eyes. That's what Bill said. Regardless of how we look at it as fans, we can say and be disgruntled about anything. But if the guy only feels that he's worth only the belt that he's getting, which is 25% of 4, then that's what it is. Just take it or leave it. He also made 2 other offers prior to that, and he declined those offers, which was 1.3, and I believe 1.5 or 1.8. So that would have even been the same thing. This guy actually, now, when you want to talk about what people take, Devin was the A-side. He was a champion. He flew to Australia for a guy that had 3 belts, and he took nothing. So if we're going to compare what people are taking and their status, I mean, that's what it is. He was a bigger name than George Kambosos. So that doesn't mean anything, man. You're looking at things like through the narratives of what people built. That's what I'm telling you. You have to look at the facts.
So Ray, how was Haney a bigger name at that time than a 3-belt unified champion?
I don't think anybody knew who George Kambosos was until he beat Teofimo.
No, 100%.
Okay, so that's why he's a bigger name.
That point, but Haney. But who was Haney? Who was Haney at that point?
Oh, Haney was known.
At that point in time, not what we're looking at now. Who was Haney at that point in time?
Then that means you're
heavyweight champion,
right? And excuse me for saying this. If you don't hold on, that means okay. I got what you're saying. Hold on, I got what you're saying.
Devin Haney was over George because George had a land that was willing to bid for the fight. What did Haney have over Kambosos that would make him the A-side over Kambosos?
First of all, he was the number 1 contender in the WBC actually, he was a champion. Am I right? He was already past the number 1 contender. Yeah, he was a WBC lightweight champion. Right. He was a full-fledged champion. I don't want to hear about franchise belt because that's not a championship. Let's start there. Number 2, he was actually ranked number 1 in other sanctions at the time before he even became a champion. He was ranked to Teofimo. He was right behind Teofimo when what's his name had the belt at the IBF. Then Teofimo went and merged, and he was number 1, who your boy Loma decided not to fight him at that time because he was on fire. So do we really want to go there? Haney was known. Haney was known since 2019. And if you don't know, that means you were living in a box or you're a casual. So you got to let me know which one it is.
So got you, Ray.
I knew who he
was. What was Haney's first 30 fights? Name the fighters.
First 30 fights? I can't go back to 30, but I bet you I can go back.
No, you can't go back because they was all in Mexico.
No, they weren't. Now we're tripping.
He fought a few times. Hold on. Now,
that's the reason here's the narrative I'm talking about.
You can't go back because they was all in Mexico.
Bro, here's the narrative. Here is the narrative, and you follow these narratives that these people say. He only had 10 fights in Mexico his whole career. 10. Go check it. BoxRec right now. You can pull it up yourself. I don't even have it in front of me. 10 fights. His third fight was
Mason Menard in Philly.
Right. I was going to say he fought in Philly. He fought in New Orleans. He fought in Atlanta. All during that time that you guys said he fought in Mexico.
He fought twice in Philly.
Right. So, and he fought in California. In Arizona. All that time that you said.
Got you. Name the fighter.
Name what fighter? What fighter you want? Which one?
The black guy who fought in New Orleans?
Of any note.
Just say Lomachenko. You make it easy, Lomachenko, bro. Like, what,
No.
I'm not understanding your question.
That's not even what I'm asking. Now, come on, Ray. Come on, Ray.
Oh, God. Name any fighter.
You got to come better than that. Come on, Ray. Come on.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying, bro. Like,
we're not talking about when he took his step up against Abdullayev. We're talking about before Abdullayev. What fighter of note did Devin Haney face?
What fighter of note did he face? You mean of standard of championship?
Before Abdullayev.
He was on a come up at that point, bro. Like, I don't even understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you're reaching.
He was on the come up, bro.
What? That's like saying, okay, because Loma got
cute.
Hold on. No.
Literally
you are,
not reaching.
You're trying to.
You are, though, because everybody that's on the come up not going to have that many notable names, if they have any.
Right.
So what is, like, your point?
Right. No.
Right.
That's the point. But
then
point. That's the point.
What is the point?
Doesn't matter. So Earl Spence was fighting an 8-round fight. Everybody knew who he was. What? Earl Spence was fighting 8-round fights. Everybody knew who he was. They was already calling for Terrence Crawford when he was fighting at 8 rounds. Right? He's fighting
Crawford was still at 40, but they was trying to get him to fight Thurman and shit.
Thurman. But I'm saying, it was like, come on, they've been calling Earl to call all these guys out when he's fighting 8-round fights, bro. He wasn't even in championship contention yet.
But
so
why
was
Earl? You know why the smoke with Earl was different than the smoke with Haney?
Nope. I don't. Explain.
Oh, because you had rumors of sparring between Earl and Floyd Mayweather, the best fighter of all time. That's why you had the different rumors. That's why it was a little different from Earl to Haney.
Glad you said that.
There's a lot of sparring rumors.
Right. Devin, more than enough. Matter of fact, everybody that he fought at 135, including Ryan Garcia, he not only sparred, he actually went 6 fights with him in the amateurs, right?
The person that
he sparred, you can actually go.
Ryan Garcia, the same person that has done nothing at 130.
I don't care. That's not the question. He's a star, though, right? He is a star.
I don't think Ryan Garcia.
Listen, we're going to talk about. Look, you're running around the narratives. The point is, he sparred Ryan, he sparred Teo, he sparred Tank, he sparred freaking Rolly, all of them, and beat the Alpha, all of them.
Sean Porter beat Alexander Usyk in the. What is that?
I'm just saying. So you're saying he wasn't notable, and this was all in the doghouse. So if it was all in the doghouse, guess what? It was known. That's why everybody knew who he was.
Notice you're bringing up sparring versus. I'm talking about people on his actual record.
You brought up sparring.
You brought up
sparring. I wasn't talking about sparring.
You brought up the sparring with Earl.
Yeah, bro. You just brought that up.
I'm saying
true.
Sparred Floyd.
Your boy.
I'm saying Earl. You're talking about Earl in a different conversation. I'm just talking about Devin.
Okay.
Dev sparred Floyd too.
Right.
You know that, right?
So we're saying that same noise.
I don't even care about. I don't even care about the whole. Hold on. Let's get sparring right. Let's just talk about this. See, what you're trying to do is you're trying to push, like I said, the narratives that everybody in boxing is pushing about the Haneys. Devin is a quality fighter. He's a skilled fighter. He's an intelligent fighter. You're taking all that away from him because your boy. Hold on, let me finish. Because your boy came from the amateurs and went straight into the pros and got title shots, and then lost the shot. Lost his second fight, which they erased off his record, then put it as a draw for like 4 years, then finally put it back on his record. Like, come on, bro. You got to look at what it really is. Not everybody gets that luxury of just coming in and being in contention. It's very rare to do that. Unless you're older in age, they don't usually do that. They usually let you build yourself up. That's just boxing. This is what I said. You got to separate boxing from your love for your fighter. And you're not doing that. You're bringing your love for your fighter and every other accolade that other people bring in. You're not.
The only thing we realize is that Lomachenko negotiated title shot.
So
his track with Top Rank.
Okay,
That's what we failed to realize.
I don't care how it
negotiated shot.
That's not the point. The point is, I'm saying you're using that. So,
but notice you're saying that's not the point versus a negotiation. So, let's disregard what
Antonio Moran, a big fighter.
Like, we don't know, these promotional companies don't have these inside deals with these fighters. Like, let's exclude the business of boxing just because, Loma got a chance after the amateurs. No, it's what you negotiate. Come on now. Like, we can't be blind to one part and then try to continue with the other part.
I'm not arguing that point. My point is we can't all blame other people for not taking that road. That's what I'm saying to you. You're missing the points. You're defending something instead of accepting it.
No, I got you. I got you if that's your point.
Okay, so before Abdulaev, right? Because I actually had to pull it up. He fought Antonio Moran right there in New York City. I'm sorry, in Oxon Hills. He fought Abdulaev in New York City. That was through the that tournament that Teo bounced out of because he didn't want no part of Haney. But I'm just saying, he was already known. Anybody else you want me to go down the list and find? Because I'm telling you right now, I ain't going to lie to you. I had to look it up. I ain't going to front on you. But I do know that he fought a lot of fighters. And I know half them fights were in Mexico that you said they were more or less than half. You said all 30. He only fought 10 fights in Mexico. But guess what that does make him? An international star. Because that means he's willing to go places to fight, including Mexico and Australia. Not too many fighters are doing that. They want to stay at home and cook in their own backyard. And he's willing to go where? Come on, man. What's up, Mark? How's everything going, man? How's life?
Oh, man, that's fucking hilarious. I'm doing well, man. Thank you. That's fucking hilarious.
I'm glad I caught you. I was literally just finishing up, man, getting myself ready for work, for school tomorrow. I was like, oh, let me hop up and say salute to the brother, and then I see my brother on here. Listen, I got respect for him because he's really one of the guys that really vote. He rocks with Loma, and I respect that. I just wish that everyone that does not like Devin or Bill stop pushing the narratives of all the things that they say. All right, he said drop the link. Yeah, he was having bad connections too, but yeah, I just wish they stopped doing that. I'm not rooting for Haney. I never even said I was rooting for him. I'm trying to drop some boxing facts. That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've been dealing with the same shit. It's like when you try to be objective and you just speak about the shit that, you know what I mean, that's right in front of you. They be like, you just support Dev. You don't like Tank. I got people talking about me on different people's lives talking about how
crazy.
I disrespect Tank. Like, how the fuck I'm disrespecting Tank when I'm just reporting what the fuck I'm hearing and then providing my opinion on it. I never understood why people get so offended by opinion. Like, it's like if you don't like this person's opinion, you more than welcome to watch somebody else that may share the same opinion as you.
Exactly.
Like,
don't paint narratives and say stuff that ain't true though. Like, you have no proof of that. We have proof in things that happen. And those are all timelines and those are all actions. If those actions exist, that's a fact that they exist. You can't tell somebody they ducked or they didn't want to fight or they had plans when they sent an offer. At the end of the day, they sent an offer for a 135 fight. Whether it was accepted or not, that's not on us. Or when I say us, like, that's not on us as the fans.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all.
So, just moving on from that whole situation, I don't think ain't no point in bringing them back. I think we just gonna be talking in circles at this point. But I didn't even get to speak on this before I get up out of here. It's Shakur Stevenson calling out Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds.
Right.
You know what's funny, man? It's like whenever these dudes have like terrible performances, like motherfuckers jump out the woodwork. Somewhere, I'll fight you. I'll fight you.
Yeah.
And so I guess Teofimo, exposed a huge hole in his game, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Which is it's his inability to deal with guys who can move, cutting off the ring, all that good shit that everybody else been saying. Right. So, somebody who has good movement, Shakur Stevenson obviously sees something in his game that he could exploit, and considering the fact that they don't necessarily get along, it seems like Shakur Stevenson is really adamant about taking this fight. Now, I'm gonna provide my opinion on it. I'm gonna let you. I want to know what you think about it. Well, speaking about it objectively, I think that Shakur Steve. I don't know necessarily how to go at 140, because I don't know if I never seen Shakur at that weight class. You know what I'm saying? But I think that stylistically, he has everything it takes to beat up Teofimo Lopez. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I believe. And I just think that everything that Teofimo struggles with, Shakur Stevenson has. You know what I'm saying? So I see why Shakur would be interested in fighting him. However, from what I understand, you just confirming that your retirement is capped. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like you're as Adam. It doesn't seem like you're that into retirement how you claiming to be. What it sounds like, in all honesty, is that you had bad terms with your promoter. You're not publicly saying it anymore, but I mean, you're not publicly saying it, but it's obvious that you and your promoter are having differences because they understand that you're not going to come back to their promotional stable. So, with that being said, why the fuck would they give you an opportunity if they know you're not going to come back? You have one more fight left, and then you're promotionally a free agent. Teofimo just signed an extension with Top Rank. I didn't even know this until I think the day before the fight.
Really?
I seen Bob Arum did like an interview. He said he signed for like 3 more years.
Yeah, he did.
He signed for like 3 more years, bro. I didn't even hear about it until I heard Bob Arum speak on it. But regardless, they're gonna do whatever they can to appease Teofimo Lopez because he's showing their commitment to them. Meanwhile, we got Shakur Stevenson on Cigar Talk, being asked a question about, you know what I mean, are you going to re-sign with Top Rank? You know, he could have took. This how you know that a lot of people don't really understand like the importance of like, having like a publicist or, you know what I mean, somebody who just what's that, like PR? Like I don't even know what the hell you call
public
it.
Relations manager.
Yeah, because you could tell a lot of these dudes not media trained because Shakur Stevenson, he could have easily been like, oh man, I love Top Rank and everything they've done for me. Eventually we're gonna sit down at the table and see if we could come up with, you know what I'm saying? He could have said something like that, and they probably would have let him. I don't think he would have been fighting on a Thursday if he went about things, you know what I mean, in a professional manner. But when you're on there and then you're saying fuck no, like in terms of re-signing with Top Rank, it's pretty much you asking for them to be on your bad side. You know what I mean? So why the hell if they know you're extremely adamant about leaving that promotional company, you be around Bud. I'm sure Bud telling you everything he done went through at Top Rank, and you don't want to go through that type situation. And just considering the history of Top Rank with black fighters and stuff like that, they know you're not gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would they give you an opportunity to fight Emmanuel Navarrete? Why would they give you an opportunity to fight Teofimo Lopez? It just don't sound realistic at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not realistic at all. They're not gonna let you beat one of their guys on your way out. Like that's just not gonna happen. So they just let me know that he's just having a temper tantrum right now. He's not really about retirement. And I don't even know why he's speaking about the possible fight with Teofimo Lopez, because he know damn well he's not gonna get it. He just said on a tweet on X, whatever you want to call it. He said they could X me out and all this other stuff, but in order to become undisputed at 35, they gotta get through me. So he's basically telling you in the message that like he's being blackballed, like he's not given the opportunities, like they send him on the shelf, whatever the hell you want to call it. Dumb dudes don't want to give him his shot. They don't want to give him his big fight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know why he's speaking on that. If he not, there's no chance he's gonna get it. So what you think about this situation?
So my first thoughts, I'm going to start with Shakur at 135. My first thoughts was that he had this the contract for re-signing when he issued it to him. They was going to dangle Loma in front of him after the Kambosos fight. When I seen that they pushed that Loma because that was supposed to be early in the year, then they pushed it back to May. I was like, okay, something ain't right. So then Shakur goes out and then he says that he wants to fight. I think he's back. Yeah, I think Truth is back. But then Shakur is like he wants to go back and fight Navarrete after he said that, and I think that was a part of the plan anyway, because he was on the same card, and they figured they'd just move him up, common opponent in Robinson Canacial. So I was like, okay, that might be something that may be in the works. And him saying that he's going to take this fight and fight him for the WBO, and he's going to put in that request, I think Bob shot him in the foot. Was like, okay, you talk about not being here. You talking about taking 2 belts with you and leaving? No, that ain't happened. This has already happened to me once. Guy stayed here, wanted to do a fight, took 4 belts out of here, and didn't even resign with me. So Bob wasn't happy. He ain't having that again because he likes to control those belts in that division. So what happens next? Now we're going to get Navarrete because he's going to put him in that fight, and then he's going to have Navarrete fight Loma, and whoever wins that fight maybe get the shot at Shakur. They try to dangle him in front of Shakur. They re-sign him because they'll probably shelf Shakur until that time is right. And Shakur did that to himself, and they're not going to let him fight Teo. And yes, Teo does have holes, but what I think Teo would bring to Shakur is that his awkwardness to stay away from that backhand, that left hook, because Shakur definitely has that dangerous left hook that he throws when he's boxing off the back foot, because Teal will come forward with it, but I think he'll be hesitant to throw it because Teal's very awkward. He has that real weird, unorthodox fighting style where he keeps his hands down and he leans in back and forth, and then he jumps out and then he throws that Superman punch. I can see that being a problem. Which may happen is we might get the De Los Santos rematch. I think that might become the first thing for him, just to keep him in a busy fight, whether he wins or lose. That may happen. As far as Teo, I think his next fight might be Matias. That's a perfect fight set up for him. It doesn't mean that he can win, but that's somebody that's going to come forward and that's going to play into Teo's hands because he doesn't have to be the one coming forward, because we all know he likes to fight off the back foot and he likes to counter and use those awkward movements, almost like a Camacho a little bit.
You think Teo like to be on the back foot?
Yeah, I think so. I think he shows better performances off the back foot.
I think that he likes to plant his feet, let the person come forward and make their mistakes, and then just set up his counters from there.
Right.
I don't really see too much of Teo being on the rope. I've seen him on the ropes, obviously, but in terms of giving a lot of movement and things like that.
Yeah.
I think he's more of a sit, catch, or slip, and then he likes to counter and shit like that. I don't think he's too big on using his foot movement and shit like that. But I see what you're saying though.
Yeah, I think he likes setting people up, like you just said. And that has something to do with your footwork, because he likes to move. He likes to do that like he's doing an electric slide left to right with his shoulders, and you know what I'm talking about. Put the video on. He'd be you know what I mean? He do this a lot. You know what I mean? So he do that.
Real rhythmic.
Right. And because he does that, he shuffles his feet a little bit to try to get the person to come in, and then, like you said, he sits when you get in there, and then he counters it. That's just the way he is, bro. And I think that sets up a great fight with Matias, even though I think Matias can take the shots, but that can also leave Matias in a bad position if he takes too many of those shots from Teo. And Teo likes to box too, because he can box. But it also means that he has to watch out for Matias, because Matias, if he doesn't feel any power from Teo, guess what he's going to do? He's going to walk right through it. He's just going to keep hitting him with them hard shots and drop him or sit him down in the corner. So that would be a good fight. But I think that's the way Teo might want to go, because that's more up his alley. I don't think he wants to fight Keyshawn. I don't think he really wants to fight Shakur, especially Bob's not going to let that happen. I think he does want to fight Shakur, actually. After Shakur's last performance, he's seen something. I mean, he was talking. And Shakur
shit like that.
Yeah. And then, I just don't see anything. There's nobody really there unless they go, they move this dude up from that they want Shakur to fight, Raymond Mutella. That's the only thing I could see if they move him up in that position. But he's supposed to be fighting Shakur too, and Shakur don't want to fight him. He's dangerous.
Wait, who are you talking about? Mortataya?
Yeah, Raymond. Was it Mortataya or Matella?
His name is Raymond Mortataya.
Mortataya. Okay, yeah, that dude. Yeah. He's very
Anonymous says, I think Teo's power is overrated at 140. Well, I'm gonna say this. At 135, he definitely had some pop. He was definitely getting a lot of knockouts. But I don't know, his last series of fights at 140, it seems he was able to get a stoppage at 140, but it wasn't nobody crazy or anything like that. But it doesn't seem like his power got the same, you know what I'm saying, pop on it that it usually has. I know he wasn't able to hit Jermaine all that effectively, but It didn't seem like any of those counters that he would land, whether it was the uppercut or the right hand or anything like that, it didn't seem to really like bother Jermaine in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And then with Josh Taylor, I think that he had Josh Taylor hurt a couple times, but it was like he wasn't able to finish it.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe his power is there. He just not able to like. He hasn't been able to find like that kill shot yet. I don't know exactly what it is, but Anonymous says only dude he knocked since he moved up was Pedro Campo. Yeah,
and that wasn't even really a real stop. That was a 20 weeks thing. Again, do being all the stoppages, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really see that fight happening now. In terms of Subriel, I think that is a good style for Teofimo to go up against. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he necessarily fought anybody like Subriel with the type of intensity, the work rate, the volume, and things of that nature. But considering the fact that we know Subriel not taking a back foot, it might give Teo an opportunity to shine. But I think it's a big risk that comes behind it because there may be a situation where Matias may be able to land them big shots on Teo. Teo does have a tendency of like sitting on the ropes and things of that nature. That could give Subriel a lot of opportunities to, you know what I mean, accumulate damage.
Right.
So that's an intriguing fight. I would love to see that fight. He said his next fight going to be in Honduras. I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. I never even heard of a fight being in Honduras. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of. He might have to take a pay cut for that one. I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody's going to want to go to Honduras to see that fight. And I don't know exactly how the economy is over there, but I don't know if they got like top dollar to be paying Teofimo.
No, I know he would probably sell out. He'd probably buy the tickets himself and give them out to the people just to get the audience there. A lot of fighters do that sometimes. They'll come.
Yeah, Subriel's also like, I think that he just went up to Mexico. I heard that he just took the flight up to Mexico because he getting ready for his next fight against Liam Paro.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. This is gonna. So when we were talking about, somebody was talking about this before I had mentioned it, and I was like, Liam Paro's probably going to be a great suit for to see how he does against somebody that actually can box in, because Liam Paro and that has some power. I know he let people. It all depends if Liam Paro wants to be what's his name? Abdulev? It was his last fight or whatever. Not Abdulev. What's his name? Ergashev. Thank you. If he's gonna sit there and just be fooled and say when Matias is like gonna sit there and let you punch on him and you ain't doing nothing to him and then he just attacks you. You know what I mean? You got to use your feet, use your mind in that ring. You can't be just like suckered so easily. And that's what happens to a lot of these guys. They get into these modes where they just think, oh, this guy's gonna sit here and let me hit him. I'm gonna knock him out, and it don't work.
To beat somebody like Subriel, bro, it sounds simple, but it's really not because you can honestly say, oh, you gotta, if you wanna beat Subriel, you gotta box him. Oh, you gotta use your feet. You know what I mean? You can't stand in front of him. But what people don't understand is with the type of pressure that man displays in that ring, you gotta make sure that everything that you mentioning has to be like superb in terms of your conditioning has to be superb. There's going to be instances where you might have to fight this man off you. You got to make sure you're in top shape to let your hands go. Right. You got to make sure your feet are strong. You got to make sure your legs are strong for constant movement for 12 rounds. You got to make sure you have some type of pop to get his respect. Right. Like, there's a lot of things, and this man is like a nightmare for a lot of these dudes because a lot of dudes are content with fighting at their own pace. Let's say a fighter fight. Let's say like this Teofimo Lopez, right? Let's say he throw 20 punches around, right? I don't know how much he throw, but that's just a number, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're used to that pace, then your conditioning, like, if you're throwing 20 punches around, it's like your conditioning is like set around that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a certain gas tank. You don't like to go past that limit because you might be fatigued in the later rounds. Fighting somebody like Subriel, you might have to throw double that around to keep him off you. Because when he's a slow starter. Once he gets turned up, he's bound to throw 100 punches around, and he's completely fine with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna throw 20 punches while he's throwing 100 because that he's either going to be winning that round or you're going to you're going to absorb a lot of punishment in the process of him throwing them punches. So it's like you almost got to match him, or you just got to be completely on the move the whole time. It's hard to beat somebody who's throwing 100 punches a round, bro.
Right, especially when the person when they do, they cut off the ring very well and they sit.
Yeah.
He sits flat on his, like he digs for every shot because he sits flat and he just digs, and then when you move, he gets back on his toes. He adjusts very quickly.
So
that's what makes him dangerous.
He's gonna make people fight outside of their pace, and not only is it like pressure, he's applying a lot of pressure to you mentally too. So there's gonna be times in the fight where you may be questioning your abilities, you may be questioning your power. There's gonna be like, yo, everything I'm doing is not working. He's gonna be an extremely frustrating style. So you got to be fit up here as well as physically.
Smart.
Fighting somebody like Subriel. You know what I mean? That style is really hard to deal with, especially if you.
It's like a Hagler Sugar Ray fight, man. Only thing that Hagler actually had a little bit more footwork, but like you would talk about the power that Hagler, how strong he was. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Like what Rudy is saying, I could see that being probably the most likely person to beat him because of the intelligence of the ring, but he still got to prove that he can take a hard shot at this weight. I don't think Regis even got a clean shot on him, so I've never seen him take a really tough shot at 140. You know what I mean? The shot he took at 135, yes, it's a shot, it's boxing, everyone gets hit. So the Linares thing was just end of the round thing, it happened. Everyone likes, you know what I mean, close in on it, like, oh, he got rocked. Man, everybody in this world's been rocked if they've been in that ring. Trust me, it's just, you know what I mean, timing. That's what boxing does. That's why you got to keep your guard up 24/7 in the ring. We will have to see how he does. I think he may be the case. There's a lot of fighters you can see to be the case, but we have to see how they manage against a similar style or competition. Until you see that, you really can't pace that. And I'm not saying that. So we're on the record. I'm not saying that you can go find any Joe Schmo that just sits there and you spar with that just has power and you just say, hey, just hit me with these. Nah, you got to be able to deal with that. And Devin has a chin, by the way, man. I mean, yes, exactly what he did. He got overconfident. That's what it was. And he stood in the pocket with a guy that can punch. And, hey, he landed one on him. Because he stood there with, what's the name, even though he was smaller, what's after Diaz, and Diaz was putting the hands on him. You know what I mean? So he could take some shots. He could definitely take some shots. So we'll see what happens as he gets up into some more competition because he got this Ryan fight coming up. So I don't want to speak on anything but that with him. But Matias is coming up with Liam Parle. Liam Parle is a really good fighter. He starts slow, and he does get hit. The thing is, Liam Parle does get hit. So we'll have to see how he's tested. It's not just watching.
I think he gonna get fried.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even if Matias is gonna get tested. We gotta see if Liam Parle is going to be tested because Montana Love was getting some shots in on him. You know what I mean? He just got his ass whipped.
Yeah, he got clipped. That's what happened.
Right.
But I'm looking at possible opponents for Teofimo. If there's a fight in the Honduras, I highly doubt there's going to be a unification fight. So I'm just checking the rankings right now because if they were going to do a unification fight, they try and get some bread. They're going to bring it to the States. You know what I'm saying? That's what I personally believe. But if it's going to be in the Honduras, most likely it's going to be a little probably going to be a little gimme. They probably going to throw him a bone for that one. But just looking at this WBO rankings, Arnold Barbosa is number 1. Right. For some reason, Tio don't want no smoke with Barbosa. I don't know exactly what that reason is. I remember he was in the ring after one of his victories. He was like, oh, don't bring that bum in here. Don't bring that bum in here. He was talking to like Bob Arum about Arnold Barbosa and shit. Yeah. And Barbosa done ran down on him a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So then there's also Jose Ramirez, number 2. Richardson Hitchens, number 3. Now, we know that fight's not going to happen next. Right. Definitely not. They're going to try to avoid that style at all costs until he has no other choice. Sandor Martin, number 4. He already beat Sandor.
Right. And
Jack Catterall, number 5. I don't know if he would take that fight. What you think about that?
Nope. You know what? He's too much pressure. It's a pressure fighter. You know what I mean? Like he boxes though. Like he's not. When I say pressure, I don't mean he's like Matias. Like he just has a 1-2, almost like a Bivol, like that 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1. He just kills you with the 1-2, like he did Josh Taylor. But his footwork, T.O. wash him. I don't even want to talk about it. I think T.O. wash Jack Catterall.
No, this may be something that may happen. Number 6 is Elvis Rodriguez.
Yeah, I seen that.
Now that might be somebody that he'll actually fight. In all honesty, that sounds like somebody that he'll take to the Honduras and beat up on. I think Elvis Rodriguez is with PBC, so I don't know exactly how that would go. But considering Elvis Rodriguez may need some type of activity in his career, and it's a WBO title shot, they may be able to get that together. So that might be a strong possibility. Besides that, I see Liam Paro's ranked number 8, Ryan Garcia is number 9, and Jermaine is number 10. He already fought Jermaine. You know he's not going to fight him again. But number 7, it goes by somebody by the name of Sean McComb. I have no idea who that is.
No idea who that is.
But he's a WBO European champion. So we just going to have to wait and see. He might grab somebody from the rankings for sure.
This dude, Elvis Rodriguez, is 15-1. He's from the DR.
You don't know who he is? Elvis?
No. Oh, you know what? I might have seen him in the ring.
Well, Elvis Rodriguez was with Top Rank, and they was building him up to be like this fucking monster. And he was knocking everybody out. Like around the pandemic, he was knocking everything out, bro.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And then he ended up fighting Kenneth Sims.
Yep.
And Kenneth Sims beat the dog shit out of him. And Top Rank dropped him right after that loss. They dropped him.
Yeah, I remember that. He was like 8-0 or something like that, right?
So then he signed with PBC. They got his feet wet. You know what I mean? He beat a couple guys. He beat Joseph Adorno. And he beat up on a few guys.
Yeah, I know who he is.
On a few guys, but besides that, he's just been chilling. I don't think he's fought in a while too. So they might check that out.
750. Last year in July, he fought Victor Postal.
Okay. Yeah, he stopped Postal. Yeah, I remember that one. But yeah, he's been on like a little winning streak. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's not gonna. They're gonna have Jack Catterall as his fight. I don't see anybody else. It's Jose Ramirez, no. And Arnold Barbosa, he's actually got to force it. He's got to force it because he's been calling them out. So I would force it. If I was Arnold Barbosa, I'd be calling the WBO right now. To force that fight, make him retire again. Yeah, and then we have
not gonna do that though, man. They not gonna stand on business with T.O., man. They gonna let that boy keep that belt.
They did. That's all I said. They gave that man a hug. I was like, what? Like, who does this? Y'all giving this man a hug for that? Like, yo, that was whack. Yeah, that was whack, man. I was very surprised. And that's the first person he hugged. Like, they knew they had it in the bag. Like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like that again. I hope I don't. It's bad for boxing, man. It's real bad for boxing. It's just
they're gonna keep on doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought we was done with that last year, man.
Nah.
I was like, all these bad fights, I thought we was done with them. Let these guys win. Because this
guy.
As
soon as I heard 117, 111, bro, I knew it. I was like, ain't no way they gonna get Jermaine 9 rounds.
Right. Like I said.
Those people that was like, when I heard 117, 111, I thought Jermaine won. I was like, no. When I heard 117, 111, I got concerned. Like, you can watch my reaction to it. I had put up like a little short about it. And I was like, 117, 111. Bro, I already knew it. Bro, I've been watching this shit so long, bro. Look. Watch. I was right here. Look, bro.
Look.
I already knew.
117, 111.
I knew right then and there. I was like, they about to rob that boy, bro. It was a bad joint, bro.
Yeah, I want to see Andy Cruz fight too. You know, Andy Cruz I would like to see him. I hope they don't do it now because they're both going to grow out the division. I think Andy Cruz he's also a 140 pounder. He's co-weighted like between the divisions, but I think he'll move up to 147 eventually in a couple years. And I think Abdullah Mason definitely he's too big. He's a big 135 guy. Like he ain't even grow yet, so he'll be at 147. I would like to see them two fight there. I'd like to see that at 147 them two. That'd be good. I don't want to see them fight now because it's too early, and that's going
You
to
said
ruin
Andy and who?
Andy Cruz and Abdullah Mason. That'd be nice at 147, man.
Good ass fight. Timmy Chips says, "Yo, when Xander fighting again? I don't know when he's fighting again, but I know he's supposed to fight Patrick Teixeira. That's the former world champion that Brian Castano had ended up beating. Because for those of y'all who don't know, Xander Zayas is like ranked number 1 in the WBO at 154.
I've seen that.
So I think he's number 1 for Tim Tszú's title right now. If he's not number 1, he's awfully close. So he's supposed to fight Patrick Teixeira. I didn't see any date on that in particular, but I heard him say, Patrick Teixeira, you next, or some shit like that after he got his last victory. You know what I'm saying? But let me see if BoxRec got an official date on this. Probably not. Nah, they don't. They don't. But after he knocked out George Fortia, he had called out Patrick Teixeira. So that's what they got locked in right now. Let's see. Yeah, he's doing his thing though, for sure. Definitely doing his thing. Let me see the WBO. Let's bring it down to 154. Are we almost there? No, Xander Zayas is ranked number 3.
Yeah, he's behind Josh Kelly, I think, and Lubin.
Yeah, so Josh Kelly's number 1. Damn, he completely been flying under the radar at 154 because ever since he lost at 47, he's been pretty much ghost. I remember they was hyping up Josh Kelly to be like this like new Matrix defensive fighter. I remember they was trying to say that he would have beat Boots and all this crazy shit. I'm like, bro, who is this Josh Kelly dude? And then he ended up getting washed by I think it was David Evanesian, I think. And then like he completely flew under the radar. So I guess he had 54 now. So yeah, man. He's gonna fight Patrick Teixeira from what I heard. So let's see how he do against that. That's gonna be a former world champion right there for Xander. Hopefully he locked in and they could really get something going. But there's so much smoke at 54, bro.
So did you hear
smoke?
The tweet on X about Boots Ennis that they put out? That's crazy, man. But I was talking.
What was that? Go ahead, speak on it.
Remember, I asked you. I was like, "Do we know where he's going?" Blah blah blah, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to talk about it." But we can for sure say that Steven Espinosa said he is not PBC, so people need to get it right. For sure, that's what people said. I mean, what Steven Espinosa said. So it's a lot of people out there making content saying he's going to fight on PBC cards. And he was like, he's not even PBC. People need to stop associating with PBC. I was like, wow. Like, straight up. Actually, Clay sent me it.
What's up?
Clay has sent me that tweet.
Well, I know that he got a relationship with Steven Espinosa because, I mean, when he had a deal with Showtime, he didn't have a deal with PBC. His manager at the time was Cameron Duncan.
Right.
Cameron Duncan just passed away not too long ago, I believe like a month ago. So I guess from a managerial aspect, he's a free agent. But I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know if Steven Espinosa got him signed to him specifically, because you would think because Boots was signed with Showtime or whatever that, you know what I mean, that contract is voided or something of that nature, bro. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to
speaking on it like that. And that would mean, see, this is where I get the other questions from. Tank talking to the Zone. Is he still signed under at GTD? Is he signed under Steven Espinosa still? Because if Steven Espinosa took all the Showtime fighters that were signed to Showtime, or Showbox, not PBC, does that mean that those fighters are pretty much
Steven's locked in with Al somehow? I don't know how it is.
Yeah, I know he has some partnership with him, but I just
he definitely got some influence on Al because Boots has just really been reaping all the benefits of a PBC fighter without being a PBC fighter.
Right.
So I don't know exactly how that works, bro. That's just kind of confusing, honestly. But they was talking about, I'd seen an interview from Bozy on YSM, And Bozy was talking about that Boots was supposed to be the main event with Mario Barrios on that March 30th card.
Right.
But something that happened with Barrios saying that he's about to have a kid soon and he wanted to spend time with his wife or girlfriend or whatever during that process so that he wouldn't be ready for that time frame. So that's why he wasn't able to get on that March 30th card. But they sound like Bozy sounded like they don't really got no answer for Boots right now. But Boots just got into camp like this last week. So he should have something. He should have a date within the next couple months for sure.
I was looking at Boots training, man. I was like, man, he walking around looking like he about 200. Get that man to fight. He big. Yo, he look big now.
A big motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, he
is. Yeah, bro. And he what's crazy is he don't be having like he be around like I don't know how much he be weighing, but I know he easily be in the 80s. I'm gonna say
that's what I was thinking 180, but he look
definitely in the 80s. But when you see this man, he don't got an ounce of fat on him.
Right.
Like I'll be like, bro, how the fuck do you be getting down to this weight? And I spoke to Boots many times on the situation. He said at 47, really easy to make. Like he said, he be making weight like a whole week before the weigh-in.
Wow.
Like I remember he had finished sparring with one of my guys, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm 52 right now." He had like 2 weeks out. I was like, "What the fuck? You only got to cut 5 pounds in 2 weeks? That's like easy, bro, easy." And he still be looking big, still be looking strong. He never looked drained. I don't know, bro. I guess it's just good genetics, bro. I don't know what to really call it, but bro, I've seen this man like 175, 180, and he looked like he's supposed to be that weight.
I'm saying they've been doing it for years. Bozy, his two brothers, they all been boxing, so they know what to do. I guess over time you kind of figure out stuff. Cornbread and jelly.
Well, listen, whatever the fuck they doing over there, that shit work. They all big motherfuckers too. He got 2 older brothers, and they big dudes too.
They solid.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, man, I'm gonna call it a wrap on this live. You know what I'm saying. We've been on here for almost 2 hours, and we got 31 people in the building, man. If you could hit the like button on the way out, it is very much appreciated. You know what I'm saying. Boost is like 5'10" though. He probably like an inch taller than me. So yeah, he probably like 5'10". But he a big motherfucker though. Ain't the height. It's like his fucking frame.
Yeah, my cousin was over there with him, sparring with him. He was like,
"Who your cousin?"
Josiah Kirkpatrick.
Josiah.
He just won the he just came in second in the nationals. He was at 147 welterweight. I'm
152.
Amateur, yeah, 152. Thank you. But he trying to go down to 140 for his pro debut. He trying to get in there. Yeah, he got a lot of people ready, man.
Well, the amateurs is same day weigh-in, so he could probably make the 40 for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate you coming on and speaking your piece. You know what I'm saying? You had your little debate today, which is like the highlight of the live. You know what I mean? I appreciate you coming on.
Brothers, man.
Facts, you know what I mean? You keep speaking the facts to these people, man, so they can get their information right, and we don't mislead these casuals. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get up out of here. I hope y'all have a blessed, beautiful night, man. I'll be back with the content early tomorrow, man. I'm gonna get my ass some rest. You know what I mean? Get ready for work in the morning. But until then, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob. Oh shit! I also got I got some new merch coming on the website as well, man. So just check in the MazumaMerch.com, MazumaMerch.com. I'll have a promo code available within the next couple of days. You know what I mean? I'll post it on the community board, but regardless, got some new merch coming for y'all, man. So be on the lookout. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob. I hope you have a great night, man. Peace.
Peace out.